Hi lovelies, Lauren here, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be taking you through a deep stretch sequence, all incorporating the yoga wheel. So if, like me, you probably treated yourself to one of these, or maybe you were gifted one, and then a couple of weeks later you thought, okay, what do I actually do with this? And that's probably why you're here now. So I'm going to be guiding you through a sequence, including a few ways you can utilize your yoga wheel to get a really deep stretch for the hamstrings, your spine, in forward folds as well, side bends. Yeah, I'm going to be taking you through kind of an all-round practice where we can incorporate the wheel. So first things first, we're going to start in a little child's pose. So you're going to have the wheel out in front. You might also want a block for this very first little step, little pose. Okay, so just have maybe 1 or 2 blocks nearby. You can separate the knees off to the side, big toes come together to touch, and your block is going to be just in front of your wheel. You're going to bring one hand on top of the wheel, the other hand on top, interlace the fingertips, but keep it fairly soft. Start to roll the wheel out ahead, bring the head down through the arms, and see if the forehead can rest on top of that block there. Continuing to melt the hips back towards the heels. And you'll notice that you're getting a real deep opening across through the shoulders here. Perhaps also starting to open across the chest. So this might be a great pose to come to if you have been sat at a desk all day and you just need to create a little bit of space maybe and take a few moments to breathe. So it's key to let the forehead be supported here, so whether that's down to a block or a cushion, anything you have to hand, so that the back of the neck can completely relax, just so the head is not hanging in space. And we can really rest. The more we kind of relax and the more we let go of any tension, the more we get that deep stretch. So let's just hold for a couple more breaths here. See if we can release any tension through the fingertips maybe. Beautiful. Let's take one more big breath in. One more big breath out. And then slowly sending your weight back towards your heels. You're going to start to roll it through the spine, rolling the wheel towards you as you go. Keeping the chin tucked towards the chest, gradually coming to sitting upright. And you're just going to take the block out from underneath you. And you can actually place that to one side. You might need it a little bit later on, but it's not absolutely necessary for what we're going to be doing. It was mostly just for that first pose, but again, keeping the hands, you might change the other hand to come to the bottom, the opposite hand on top. Let's lift the hips away from the heels now, walking the knees a touch further back, and we're going to move through a kind of cat-cow motion here. So you can keep the hands like this, opposite hand on top and interlacing the fingertips, or you can actually grip the edges of your wheel. You will know instinctively what feels better for you here, so feel free to kind of choose whichever grip works best. We're going to move through a kind of cat and cow motion. So take a breath in. Now as you exhale, start to walk the wheel away from you. So you can walk your hands down, away from the wheel. And again, you start to pour the heart forwards. Hips are level over the knees as best as we can. And just melt the heart down towards the mat. Beautiful. Take a breath in here. And now as we exhale, we tuck the chin towards the chest, roll the wheel slightly towards you. And as the wheel comes in, push the wheel down and towards the ground, tuck the chin towards the chest, tuck the tailbone under, and find this curved spine. Lovely, take a breath in. As we exhale, we go again. We walk the wheel away from us, walk our hands down, melt the heart, let the head relax in between the arms. Beautiful. Hips again, a little bit over towards the knees. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll the wheel towards you. Push the hands down, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, curve through the spine. Let's take one more round just like that. So again, take a breath in. Exhale, walk the hands down the wheel as it rolls away from you. Pull the heart forwards. Let the head relax through. Beautiful. Breath in. And exhale, rise back up. Walk the wheel towards you. Push the hands down into the wheel. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, curve through the spine. Beautiful. Take a breath in here. And take an exhale. Beautiful. From here, just melt your hips back towards your heels, roll the wheel towards you, and then you're just going to slightly adjust so the knees are going to point towards the left, and your wheel is going to be kind of by your right hip here. So there's a couple of options coming up here, and if you have got a wheel that's got this kind of edging to it, you might find that that kind of presses into your, or kind of digs into your body a little bit, so you can kind of lay a towel or a blanket over the top. But yeah, just see how you go on. So from here, with the wheel to our right hand side, you're gently going to lay your right side body onto the wheel. Okay, so you can keep both knees grounded down towards the mat. First of all, you're thinking about rolling this left shoulder back, and this might be quite nice for you. You can then think about stretching the left arm up and over. Maybe you take the left hand to the back of the head and take a couple of deep breaths here, kind of like a deep side body stretch. You may want to think about taking this one step further, but really take your time. It gets a little bit wobbly. So you're going to start to roll the body further onto the wheel. So you're going to notice that the hips start to lift slightly. You might want to bring your left hand towards your left hip for this. Lengthen the left leg slightly further forwards, and then maybe lengthen the bottom leg slightly further back. So you stagger the legs a little bit. That's going to help you with balance. And then again, once you're here, once you're comfortable, let the head relax. You can release that left arm up and over. But again, if that wheel edging is kind of digging in here, that's where you might need a bit of extra blankets maybe, just to give you a little bit of extra padding. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then to come out, bring left hand back to your left hip. Bend into the knees, so right knee bends. Left knee bends, so the knees come together. Push down through this right hand to slowly roll yourselves back off the wheel and come back up to kneeling. Beautiful. We're going to have a little look at that on the other side. So I'm just going to shimmy to the opposite end of the mat. You guys can just turn around. Okay. So the wheel is now on the outside of your left hip, and it's exactly the same on the other side. So first of all, you gently think about laying the left side of the rib cage onto your wheel as best as you can, keeping your hips down towards your heels and your knees down towards the mat. Left hand down towards the side, let the head relax. You can stay here. You can think about sweeping the right arm up and over, or maybe you bring the right hand to the back of the head, using it as a little kind of hammock for the head to rest in. You can think about kind of sending the elbow away and really breathe into this right side body whilst you're here. So as the right side of the rib cage expands, we feel into that stretch a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay. And then maybe we think about going a little bit further. So first of all, let's bring right hand to our right hip. You're going to start to roll the body more onto the wheel. The hips start to lift, the knee starts to lift. You're going to straighten that right leg slightly further out in front and start to lengthen the left leg slightly further back. Beautiful. So again, you're nicely rested on top of the wheel, rolling the right shoulder back. You can keep that right hand to your hip, or maybe again, you sweep it up and over. Beautiful. So really using your body weight here over the wheel to get that deep stretch. Lovely. Let's take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Lovely, well done. Right hand comes back towards the right hip. Bend into the knee so the left knee comes down. Then the right, push down through that left hand to slowly tip the body back up. roll up through the spine, come back to upright. And you can take a moment here. That's quite a deep side bend we've just taken. It's quite a deep stretch for the neck as well. So maybe you roll the shoulders a couple of times, tick up the head, whatever feels good. Beautiful. Okay, take a breath in. And take a breath out. Okay. Now from here, you can turn to face your wheel again and bring it back to the middle of the mat. Again, this might be a little bit tricky for balance. If you want to work on your balance, that's fine. But if you want something to kind of support you whilst we come into these poses, have a wall nearby, a chair, something you can kind of grip onto that's going to keep you steady. But first things first, placing the wheel out in front, grounding down through your left knee, and let's bring the right calf on top of the wheel. Flexing into the right foot, I'm going to slide the wheel a little bit further away. And you kind of want it underneath the ankle as well. You want to start with the wheel quite far away from you, so as you slide forwards, it's going to still support the back of the calf and the back of the knee. Okay, and that's literally what we're going to be doing. Right hand to right hip, peel those toes up towards the sky, take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly roll across the wheel, sinking the hips down towards the mat. Beautiful. And then from here, we inhale, rise back up. Exhale, we go again. So this is where you can work on your balance, shifting the weight forwards and back and seeing how steady we can be here. But if you're feeling wobbly and you just want to focus on the stretch, be near a wall or have something nearby, as I say. Okay. And as you're doing this, thinking about plugging the right hip back, it can be tempted to kind of send the right hip forwards as you send that right leg forwards. Keep the hips square, so you're really going to feel this across the front of that left hip flexor. Beautiful. We're going to go for a couple more breaths maybe. Beautiful. Also provides that little massage across the back of the calf as well here. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, roll it forwards. Okay. Inhale, coming back. Now from here, again, you might need to use a couple of blocks or something between your left heel and your sit bone because you're going to gradually come to sit back. So this is a really deep stretch. And again, you also might need some padding underneath the knees. So anything extra you have nearby, do feel free to bring it into the practice. So you're sitting on your left heel. You might need to walk the wheel in a little bit closer. You're still flexing into the right toes. Fingertips either side of the body. Take a breath in. Then as you exhale, you lead with the belly, chest, and then chin as you fold over the right leg. You can also kind of take hold of the wheel here and maybe reach forwards, coming into that stretch a little bit further. But as I say, it's quite intense for the back of the right knee. So if you want to incorporate a little micro bend there, it takes some of the pressure off the hamstring as well. Beautiful. Okay, let's take a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Lovely, well done. Okay. Inhale, roll it through the spine, rise up high. You're going to lift the hips away from that left heel, roll the wheel forwards. Place one hand to the wheel, so maybe right hand to the wheel to gently lift the right leg off. Beautiful. Okay, and then you're going to bring the wheel to the inside of the right foot. This is a little bit tricky, so take your time to find this. As I say, it can be a little bit wobbly, especially if you're on carpet like I am. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll your wheel, lift the left knee, and hopefully the wheel is going to land up somewhere kind of towards the left shin. Bring the hands down towards the ground, either side of this right foot, and see if we can lift the left foot so the left leg is supported by your wheel. So it might be somewhere around the knee. If that's the case, we can gently roll it a little bit further back so it's really kind of underneath the shin here. Lovely, well done. Okay. Now aiming for the hands to be on the inside of the right foot, turn the right toes out slightly, and you're in a really deep lizard lunge. Beautiful. So we keep the heart lifted, we keep the arms fully extended. And whilst you're here, you can have a little rock forwards and back. Lovely, well done. So I say this one's quite a tricky one to come into. I think all of these poses when we're using the wheel, when it's quite an unpredictable prop, at any moment it can roll up from underneath you, it can fall to one side. Taking your time to come into the poses is really going to help you. Beautiful. So you can let this right knee fall out to the side slightly. Find that heaviness in the hips. Sink the hips down towards the mat. Lovely, well done. Okay, maybe we point those toes, left toes back behind us, engage through that left knee. Take one more inhale. And one more exhale. Now from here, take your time, push through the hands, and gently bring right shin down towards the mat. Lovely. Now from here, pull left knee in towards the chest, hopefully sending the wheel in front of you. Nice and smooth. Okay, so that the wheel comes down in front of you, and all we're going to do is transition onto the other side. So hopefully the wheel is somewhere in front of the left leg, and we lift the heart, lift the chest. We bring the back of the left calf, left ankle on top of the wheel. So we're going to repeat all of that on the other side. So you literally start with your hips level with the right knee. I'm going to send the wheel a little bit further away from me. There we go. Okay, take a breath in. And again, exhale, we sink a little bit further forwards the entire time, keeping that left hip pulled back. And you don't need to go too far at all before you feel the stretch. Use your inhale to pull yourselves back. Lovely, well done, and keep going just like that. And again, use something either side of you to help with your balance, or if you want to test your balance today, keep the hands to the hips, or maybe arms out to a T. Lovely, well done, flexing into those left toes. Little softness into the left knee as well, so you don't want to be too locked out in that left knee. Lovely, well done. Okay, dropping into the hips. You might find that every time you go forward you can sink a little bit deeper perhaps. Lovely. Okay, let's go a couple more times, pausing for a moment at the bottom. Lovely. Okay. On your next inhale, rising back up. And again, this is where you can use a block or something in between your right sit bone and your right heel to give you a little bit more height. Or if you're okay, gently coming to sit back onto your right heel. Ooh, there she goes. See, it's super unpredictable. Could go at any moment. Okay, keeping the left ankle on top of the wheel as best as you can. Fingertips either side of you, they can be down to blocks as well to give you a little bit more height. This is a really deep stretch, so take your time with this, especially keep a little micro bend in that left knee. So even if you're up here, you're still going to be really benefiting from that stretch down the back of the left hamstrings. Okay, so wherever you are, take a breath in. Exhale, you lead belly, chest, then chin, as you fold over that left leg. Beautiful. And again, you can take the hands to the wheel. That might help it feel a little bit more sturdy, perhaps if it's wobbling around underneath you. Okay, a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. So you might not feel as though you're folding too far into the stretch. That's okay, but you are going to be feeling it for sure, unless you're living in a super able open body here. That is not me. So I'm feeling this just as much as you guys are. Beautiful. Okay, let's take one more inhale, one more exhale. Okay, walk the hands back towards you, roll it through the spine, take a moment, grow tall, and then you're going to use your hands to lift the sit bones away from that right heel, left hand down to the wheel, and gently lift the left foot off. We bring the wheel to the inside of the left foot, and you're going to start to slide it back. Okay, so as that wheel rolls back, hands come down towards the mat. So you can ground down with one hand, either the left or the right, as you lift the right knee and use the other hand to gently send the wheel somewhere kind of below that right knee if we can. And you're going to find that moment where we can gently lift the right leg, lift the right toes, and point them back behind you. Now, if you feel that the wheel is underneath the right knee, so much so that it's causing unnecessary pressure down through the back of the knee, we can start to send the knee a little bit further forwards, bring it underneath the ankle, and then again send it back. Beautiful. Okay, so from wherever you are, beautiful. I feel like I'm going to roll off mine any moment. Lovely, well done. So hands to the inside of the left foot, left toes pointing out to the side. Sink into the hips, keep the arms fully extended. Lovely, how are we doing? So again, take your time to find this one. This one is tricky. Even as I'm in it now, I feel like I'm going to fall out of it any moment. Lovely, well done. Okay. Beautiful heaviness in the hips. Okay, I'm going to stay for about 3 more breaths, slow and steady. Point those right toes, push down through the fingertips. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Now slowly push down through the hands. See if we can bring left shin down towards the mat, and then gently using the right foot to kind of kick the wheel so it rolls, hopefully, back towards you. Beautiful. So it's back out in front. Okay. Now from here, let's actually shimmy ourselves further forwards. You want to make sure you've got a lot of space behind you now. The wheel is going to come towards your back. Swing the ankles around to one side. Lovely, okay. Beautiful. So the wheel is really close behind you here. Knees are pointing up to the sky. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just start to lean back into the wheel. Beautiful. So this pose right here is probably the main reason you wanted a wheel, because it's such a beautiful heart opener. It's such a deep stretch across the chest, where you can relax through the shoulders. You can let the head drop back if that feels okay for you. Beautiful. Let's take a breath in. Let's take a breath out. Lovely. Now keep the chin slightly tucked towards the chest, just so we're protecting the neck somewhat. Bring your hands back behind you to the wheel. You're going to push down through the feet and slowly lift the hips to roll further back onto your wheel. Lovely, well done. And as you come further back, you can then again let the head drop back. Maybe the crown of the head meets the mat. And then when you're ready, roll it back forwards. And we're just going to go like that, forwards and back a couple of times. But the key thing is to protect your neck. So if you're feeling any kind of strain here and there, maybe we tuck the chin towards the chest again. Lovely, well done. And you can keep the hands to the wheel just to give you a little bit of support. So again, to make sure it's not going to fall to one side. Or maybe once you're confident, you can take the hands out from underneath you and let them rest either side of your body. Lovely, well done. So as I mentioned, this is a deep heart opener, but it's also going to provide a little massage for your spine. Lovely. Okay. Let's keep going a couple more times. The key thing is to remember your breath. As the stretch gets quite intense, you might feel the breath get a little bit restricted here. So we're really focusing on those deep inhales, those releasing exhales. Beautiful. Okay, now from here, the next time your hips kind of meet the mat again, just take a moment, tuck the chin towards the chest. We're going to roll back again, but we're going to almost roll back into a shoulder stand. So take your time, make sure you're not going to have any hair in the way here. I'm grateful that I put mine in plaits today. Take a breath in. Exhale, you roll back. Keep the chin tucked towards the chest this time. Beautiful. Now walk the feet closer towards your wheel. Take your time. And you're going to aim for the back of the head to come down towards the mat. Lovely, well done. Now from here, keep going, keep rolling along your wheel, aiming for the back of the neck and the shoulder blades to come down towards the mat. So if, like me, you've got really short legs, you might notice that the feet start to float off and it's just your tippy toes down towards the ground. That's okay. You can let the knees kind of sway out to the side a little bit. That's going to protect your lower spine. And then when you're ready, once you feel kind of grounded down through your shoulder blades, through the back of the head, bring the hands to your wheel and gently start to pull the knees in towards the chest. So the feet float away from the mat, and this is where we can start to make it into our shoulder stand. Now, so you can either draw the knees in towards the chest and come to a bit more of a tuck. This is a great kind of counter pose for those deep back bends. You then might decide to stretch the legs up to the sky, and your hips are completely supported by your wheel here. Or you might, if you have the space for it, I don't think I quite have the space today, you might be able to send the legs back behind you for your plow pose. So wherever you are in your shoulder stand, try and keep the head and the neck neutral. I know it might be quite tempting to turn to look towards the screen, but keep the head and the neck neutral just so we're offering that extra layer of protection here. Beautiful, well done. Okay. Let's take a breath in. Take a breath out. Now from here, you might want to bend the knees in towards the chest again. You're slowly going to let the wheel roll out from underneath you. Control the lower spine, down towards the mat. Lovely, well done. Now as the spine comes all the way down towards the mat, you can let the wheel roll a little bit further away from you. Keep the knees in towards the chest and just have a little sway of the knees from side to side. So we're letting the spine kind of neutralize for a moment. Beautiful. So you might find that your feet are kind of resting onto the wheel. That's okay. Lovely. Take a breath in here. And take a breath out. Now from here, bring your hands to the back of the thighs or to the shins. Take a little rock and roll for a moment. Lovely. And then when you're ready, come all the way up, send the wheel out in front. And you're going to open the legs to a little bit of a straddle. So I'm going to turn to face you for this. Lovely, well done. So we've got the legs open out to the side, wheel in front of you. And we're going to take that kind of hand position we had at the very beginning. One hand down to the wheel, opposite hand on top, interlacing the fingertips. Toes pointing up to the sky. Take a breath in. Now as we exhale, you're going to roll the hands along your wheel and start to hinge at the hips, coming into a little bit of a fold. But as you fold here, it's exactly the same as what we were doing when we folded over the leg. We lead with the belly, chest, and then chin. Now if you find that your hands kind of come off the wheel and you run out of space here, you can also walk the wheel further away, yeah, if you want to fold a little bit deeper, okay? As you go forwards, think about digging the heels down and towards the ground, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll it back. Beautiful. Come up through that straight spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, you go forwards again. Maybe we go that little bit deeper. Lovely. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, you go again. We're just going to keep going like that a couple of times. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, you go forwards. Lovely. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, this time we're going to go forwards and we're going to hold there. So however far you want to go today. Mine's gone a little bit off center. There we go. Okay, so still digging the heels down and towards the ground. Still leading with the belly first, then the chest, then the chin. You might be looking towards your wheel as well here. So again, we're maintaining that length through the spine. Lovely, well done. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Lovely, inhale, start to roll the wheel back towards you. Okay, We're nearly there. We're going to stay in our straddle for the next few moments, but you're going to bring the wheel to the right hip, the outside of the right hip. Right hand down towards the wheel, and very simply, you're just going to roll the wheel away from you, but as you go, sweep the left arm up and over. Beautiful. Again, another juicy side body stretch here. So you can lean into the wheel somewhat, still flexing into the feet, kicking the heels away. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Lovely. Inhale, let's come up through center. Beautiful. Find that tall spine again, and just shift the wheel to the other side. So it's next to your left hip. Left hand, down towards the wheel. Start to roll it away, and as you go, swoop that right arm up and over. Really think about rolling this right shoulder back. So if you notice the right arm start to kind of lower in front of the face, roll the right shoulder back. See if you can kind of spin the torso up towards the sky. Lovely, well done. Kick the heels away. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly arrive back up through center. Roll the wheel back towards you. Beautiful. Okay. Just bring your hands to the back of the knees for a moment. Draw them in. You can take a moment to just lightly sway the knees from side to side if you need to. Okay. Beautiful. And then from here, turn lengthways on your mat, and again we're going to come down onto our backs. You're going to have the wheel out in front of you. We're going to end up placing the feet on top of the wheel. So we're going to take a bit of a resting pose now. So as you come down to your backs, find where your wheel is and just bring the legs. You might need to kind of cross the ankles here, or see if we can kind of bring the knees together. Lovely, well done. So finding that the legs can completely relax into the wheel. I like to cross my ankles because otherwise I feel like my feet are just kind of dangling in the air. And this feels a little bit more comfortable for me. So maybe that's the same for you. So the legs are slightly elevated here. Tailbone is slightly tucked, and maybe you can feel kind of your lower spine just resting along the mat here. Beautiful. And again, finding that kind of neutral position through the spine. So allowing the back of the head, the shoulder blades to be grounded here. Upper back gently resting down into the ground. Mid back also resting here. And we can take a few moments just to rest, just to breathe and be. Hands can be wherever you decide feels better. They might be resting on your belly, the arms might be down by your sides. Just choose whichever feels best for you. And you can really absolutely stay here for as long as you need today. Letting everything else fade away. Notice how your body feels now after that deep stretch. Noticing how we've created all this space in the body and there's more space to simply breathe. So maybe you can take some even deeper breaths here. As I said, you can stay here for as long as you need. If you have a bit more time, feel free to indulge in this little bit of a relaxation. But if you're ready to go, take a big breath in through the nose, fill up the lungs entirely. And as you exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Let's take that again, big breath in through the nose. And sigh out through the mouth. One more time, big breath in. Big breath out. Lovely, well done. And then gently, one at a time, you're going to let the legs come down off your wheel. The wheel might roll away from you, that's okay. You can sway the knees from side to side again. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, just simply take your time to roll over onto one side, the left or the right, doesn't matter which. And gradually push yourselves all the way back up to seated, keeping the eyes closed here if we can. Lovely, well done. Crossing at the shins or at the ankles, soften shoulders down and away from the ears. Palms to hands are going to meet the knees, and as always, we're going to seal our practice today with a little blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries, and may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, we bring the palms to hands together in front of the heart, and we bow. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me with that little practice incorporating your wheel. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas, and maybe it's given you a sequence you can come back to if you fancy having a little play on the wheel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, maybe leave a little comment if you enjoyed this practice. But of course, I'll be back next Sunday with another free practice for you. So I hope to see you then, but have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Mwah.